So we're back now with 3-point, and this is going to be a 3-point worm's eye view. So our viewpoint is going to be down below. We're going to have our horizon line really low, and we're going to be looking up at about 30 degrees, and we're going to be looking at some floating, we're going to start out with Bach forms, of course, and then we'll change them into other forms after that. So my trusty materials, again, are my red and blue pencil, my mechanical pencil, my see-through ruler, and my see-through triangle, and of course my nifty handy drafting brush. So I'll set those to the side and show you very briefly the diagram, that illustration that we'll be working from here. And we're going to be setting up, I'll show you where to set up your horizon line, where to set up your left and right vanishing point, vertical vanishing point, and how we get our eye line, or from our center of vision, where they meet together. Now I haven't talked necessarily about that full, and that'll be in formal perspective, but I do want to show you the setup because it's important where you get these points from and how they relate to one another. 3 of them can be very random, but the fourth one, at least one of them, has to be set and determined, and so we can find out how we can do that. So this is what we're going to be drawing, something close to this. So I'm going to set this diagram now to the side, and we'll get going from there. So the first thing I want to look at then is getting our horizon line laid in. So we'll set in our horizon line now at about 3 inches from the bottom corner of our paper, and I'll try to draw pretty dark here. So I'll measure up from the bottom, 1, 2, 3. I'll make a strong mark there, and I'll do the same thing on the other side, 1, 2, 3. And this is just a design aesthetic set in. I chose this. I could have put it higher if I want. And we'll draw our horizon line nice and horizontal straight across till we get to the other side. There we go. So there's our horizon line right there. So that's 3 inches downward. Now I'm going to set my first vanishing point, my left vanishing point, about 3 inches in, 3 1/8 actually, just to align it up with the illustration I just showed you. So 3 1/8 inches in through here, and the right vanishing point we'll put right on the edge of the paper there. So let me get out of the way so you can see that this is about 3 1/8 inch in. This is 3 inches up the horizon line, and the right vanishing point is set right on the horizon line at the edge of the paper. Okay, so I'm going to put in my vertical vanishing point, and I'm going to figure out at this point in time how far over I want it. I better measure that, double check just in case. So I'm just going to measure it from my left vanishing point here over, and this is just a design decision. I want to make sure we get it correct. And so it's about 7 inches in from the left vanishing point. So I'll do that. So I showed you that there. So it's about 7 inches in. We'll come back and just take our ruler and measure 7 inches in right here and along the horizon line here. I'll just make a mark, and then we'll go up vertically from there. Okay, all the way up here. I'm drawing pretty dark. You can draw lighter, so there we go. Okay, and then I set in the vertical vanishing point along the center line here about 1/4 inch down. So right there is my VVP, my vertical vanishing point right there. Okay, so I think we've got everything set in. So horizon line at 3. I just came in 3 1/8 inch for my left vanishing point. LVP, this is also the horizon line. It's not our eye level. We're going to find our eye level. Right vanishing point here, and then our vertical vanishing point up in here. Now the next thing I need to do is connect these lines from the right vanishing point up to the vertical vanishing point. And I'll just align up my rulers together so they can come together. That's a good angle right through there. I'll line them in. So we're going to make our triangles so we can find our center of vision and our eye level together. Okay, so from the left vanishing point, we'll do the same thing. We'll draw a line up to the vertical vanishing point. So we've got that. Now, to show you how we get our eye level through our center of vision, we've got to find it along this line, but we need a right angle from either the left vanishing point line or the right vanishing point line to back to itself through one of the vanishing points. Okay, well, what does all that mean? That sounds like a lot of mumbo jumbo. Well, it's not. It's important, but I don't want to go crazy about it. So what I'm going to do to show you is line up my ruler, my triangle. This is a 90-degree edge here. And I'm going to line up the other one. And I'm going to slide them through like so, 90 degrees. And when they line up to this right vanishing point, that's when I have the right angle that I need. Okay, so this will help determine where my eye level and my center of vision is. It bisects our center line here to our vertical vanishing point. So I've got my line set in. Now I'm going to bring it all the way over to and touch my left vanishing point line because it's coming through the right vanishing point all the way through to there. Okay, so this is a 90-degree angle here, so I'm going to demarcate that so you can see that right through here, right there, okay, and there. So this is a little bit of a formal setup. I wanted to show you that in 3 points so you know where I actually get these vanishing points. So there's our 90-degree line running through there. Now, what's important about this is this. Right through here, where this bisects our vertical vanishing point coming through, that's our center of vision, where our center of vision and our eye level meet up right there. So I'm going to put CV through here, and then I'm going to draw a nice long horizontal line through it, all the way, a good distance, left and right here, and this is our new eye level. So we were up about 30 degrees in our vision from the horizon line. So what's happening is, and this gives you an idea where we're going with this, our station point is standing outward now, but we're looking up. Our head is tilted up about 30 degrees where our station point is, looking up at objects in 3-point perspective. And so we get our cone of vision is right in through here in this area, 30 degrees and 30 degrees from wherever our station point is. I haven't really demarcated that. So what we're getting is, because I'm out of it quite a bit at the cone of vision, let me draw that in for you. I'm going to roughly say it's here to here, and I'm going to do it in blue in a circle. Okay, through here and through here. There's quite a bit of distortion that's going to happen. Good, I want that. I want that to be a little bit more dramatic, a little bit drama-filled. We're going to make these into Star Destroyers. And so they're flying overhead, or we're out in space and the horizon line doesn't really matter anymore because we're not on land. But they're flying over, they're giant, they're gigantic, so there's going to be quite a bit of distortion. But that's where I relatively feel like our cone of vision. And so what we found again is where that center of vision meets our eye level. And we did that again through a right angle from the left vanishing point line at 90 degrees to the right vanishing point it came out. Now, you could do it the other way, from the right vanishing point outward here, and they would do the same thing. Matter of fact, we could demonstrate that by putting a triangle over there. It goes right through eye level, which goes, you can tell it's starting to go right back to our left vanishing point, and when you would do the same thing. Okay. Now later on in formal perspective, I'll show you their different setups. You can have 2 or 3 of these same points and find different areas. It's the same kind of procedure, just slightly different. Okay, so it's really fun, and I think that you can get some really interesting points of view. And of course, you could take picture frames and cut out through here and get cool points of view if you didn't want as much distortion. We'll talk more about composition and perspective later on too as well. Okay, so let's start on our 3-point box form. So I'm going to use my red and blue pencil. Make sure I sharpen it up here. Make sure you take a moment to really sharpen yours. And let's start in on some forms here. Okay, we'll kind of work our way around and through compositionally. So I'm going to make these box forms fairly long and thin and rectangular, like so, okay? And we'll try to keep our composition relatively the same, and maybe I'll adjust it in the drawing I'm doing on film to make it even maybe a better composition. So we'll see. Okay. All right, so let's start out with our first box, and we'll put it a little bit lower. We'll put it over a little bit. So from the vertical vanishing point, I'm just going to draw line through. This is going to give me my height now, okay? So we're working on height, and I'm going to set this height for this box about yay big, roughly right in through there. So with my red line, I'll come in with my camera so you can see it. Just know that you're going for height to the vertical vanishing point up now, since we're looking up, and then for left depth, you're going to the left vanishing point. For right depth, you're going back to the right vanishing point. Once you know that, you've got it. And we've got our point set in. So we're actually correct with our perspective. We didn't guesstimate, which you can do, and it's still 3-point, but it may not be exactly how we see. Now we've got the science to back us. And if you don't believe me, go and look it up and go and try it in the Geometry Works. That's a lecture for somebody else to give at another time. Okay? So we're going to project back to our right and left vanishing points. Now it's a design problem. I want to cut off the depth of this box. Make it pretty long on the length side, maybe here. So decently long. And then go up to the vertical vanishing point from here. Right there, connected up and through. We've got it. And I'm going to cut it off about right here. Looks pretty good. And we'll go back to the vertical vanishing point from there. And I won't draw the lines through. I'm just lining up my ruler. I'm going to outline these in red, a little bit darker so you can see them. They might wind up being a little purple. And I'll try to adjust the saturation on the film so you can see these even stronger. They're showing up better now. I did one there for a while. I just couldn't see it, so I redid it. So here, from the right, we go back to the left vanishing point. It really is a 2-point perspective problem now, isn't it? Okay, and there we go. Let's finish it out where they cross. And now we've got our first 3-point form in worm's eye view. Remember, we're looking down from below, looking up to these objects. Now we have our first one in through there. There we go. All right, let's set another one in. We'll set it off to the side a little bit, and maybe this big one will overlap just a little bit. I might have to shade them in so you can see them a little bit. So we'll put our second one here down a ways. Make sure we have our pencil nice and sharp. Sharpen this up a little bit. Okay, it's pretty easy once you get this set up. The only really hard thing is learning how to get this set up. Now, if you're really interested in that, stay tuned. Later on, we'll go into formal perspective, and I'll show you how you can set this up. Now, if you're just sketching out, you can, but if you really want to be accurate, you'll tighten up your sketches to these relationships together. And they're really based off 90-degree triangles. Okay? All right, so let's draw another one. So from the vertical vanishing point, I'll draw height. I'll overdraw a little bit there. I'll make it nice and dark so you can see it. I'll go back to the left vanishing point here. I'll overdraw a little bit so I can decide on my length. When I say overdraw, I'll make the lines longer than they need to be, knowing that I'm going to shorten them up. I'll overdraw there a little bit. Okay. And I'll overdraw here a little bit as well. All right, so this one's a little further back, so I'll make it a little bit smaller. Line up my ruler to the vertical vanishing point. Cut it off about right there, and I'll cut this depth off about right. I'll put a dot to show you what I'm thinking, about right there. Then I'll go back to the vertical vanishing point here where they meet the convergence lines in blue, and then I'll just trace over this so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, and here. So yours might overlap a little bit, mine don't. As you're drawing, that's okay. Try to make yours as close to mine, and then do a practice, and then go off and do anything you want on your own. That's the thing. It's a creative tool, and I want it to be creative, and I want you to feel like that you can bend perspective to your will, not the other way around. Remember that. That's important. Okay, so We're going to draw the bottom here, finish this out. We're getting a slider view because it's coming close to our eye level. Excuse me, our horizon line. That's important to know. Our eye level is up here, okay? We're looking up at, our head is tilted up at about, thinking about roughly 30 degrees. I'm going to put that out here, tone that in and put 30 degrees over there. I think that's pretty important to know. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's build up a little bit higher. That means they're getting probably slightly a little closer. So I'll build another one here. Up here, and we'll make this a little higher. Okay. So that was my height. Back to the left vanishing point. Back to the left vanishing point. For my diminishment, my depth going back to the right vanishing point, back to the right vanishing point here. That gives me my diminishment, my depth. Here's the ultimate diminishment. We know we're going to diminish. You can go further out too if you want. You're going to get more distortion. You were already pretty far outside the cone, which is cool anyway. You get some great distortion. I like distortion, and you see it in film, and you see it in storyboards, and you see it in comics. And I'm not a big fan of comic books, but if you are, great. No big deal. But I don't dislike them either. But I do like the distortion that 3-point can give you. Here and here. So there's my length there, and I'll go back to my vanishing point. Remember, these lectures are not about really style. We might get into style things later on, but they're more about structure and anything else. You bring your vision to it, and you bring your own intellect and biases and all that good stuff. I'm going to make this actually a little bit longer. Let me see if I can erase that red line out. That's the only thing about color pencil. It's a little strong, but that's okay. We'll put this out. Maybe to here, back to the vertical vanishing point where they meet the convergence lines. Stop. There was our length, and I'll go over it in red here and red there. Now we've already gone back to the left vanishing point. Let's go from the right vanishing point out to our corner, and they kind of abut, almost abut, and I'm going to take it off and down, right in through there, and then we'll line up in red, draw over it in red, and now we have 3 forms already ready to go in 3-point perspective, and we'll just let's keep on building up and see how we do. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, so let's put another one down. I think what I'll do is I'll draw kind of a gesture line and kind of a design line of where I want to put my box forms, and for nice positioning with the composition. So we'll do about 7, maybe 8 or 9. We'll see how it goes through. And so I think I want it to do something like this. They'll come up like this and then come over in through. So I'm going to draw this a little stronger just so that you can see it. I still want to keep it light, but that's kind of my design thinking, to give it a little movement through, flow through here, flow and up and over. Okay, so I want to continue on now. I'm going to build some more. So I'm going to build one out here a little higher, maybe a little bit larger too. So I'll go from the vertical vanishing point. I'll get my height. So all our height will go to our VVP. I might overdraw a little bit. Then I'll go back to the left vanishing point here, overdraw some there, and go to the right vanishing point here, like so. Overdraw, I probably overdraw quite, need to draw more than that actually. So there, and I'll overdraw here like so. And now it becomes a design problem. And I'll cut it off maybe a little bit, just slightly shorter. So it's almost straight because it's almost, see how it's almost aligned with the vertical vanishing point. That tells you at your your center vision. So you're really just about straight, but just slightly off there. Okay, so off being straight. So I'll overlap or draw over these in red a little bit so you can see that. And then I'll cut my depth off here. So maybe I'll move it a little bit slightly longer. Then we'll go back to the vertical vanishing point here, like so. Whoops, there we go. And then I'll connect that up and connect that up here. That's it. And then we'll go back to the left vanishing point from this point. Okay, back on through, and I'll just drive it through here. If I overdraw, that would be see-through. We would see it like that. And then I'll just connect up here to this corner. So these will be pretty close together, right in through like that. And then of course I'll just draw over these in red, and so we have another starship. So they're going to be actually very close together. They may be flying as a fleet. Okay, so I'll be sure and put them a little bit wider apart. So let's put another one maybe over here. So from the vertical vanishing point, I'll overdraw pretty good through here. And then I'll go back to the left vanishing point for this one. I think I'll cut off the depth a little bit here, like so, or the height of that. Back to the left vanishing point. Let's see, so maybe I'll cut this one off here. So it's just a design problem. You can go along with me, or you can do your own thing a little bit for sure. There. Okay. Draw back that way. Okay, so I'll outline this in red. Here and here. Okay, and then we'll go to the right vanishing points. Overdraw some. And again, we're just feeling that distortion and dimensionality of a three-point drawing to give a little bit more drama to our scene. And then, of course, I'll line up from this corner, go back to the right vanishing point. And then we have a design problem. How deep do we want to make the length of this? Maybe here, maybe there. That feels pretty good. And I'll angle it back to the vertical vanishing point. Stop where it meets our two lines there for our right side. And then trace back, draw back to get that a little bit stronger. This will draw over in red here, like so. And then from this point, we'll go back to the left vanishing point procedurally. And there it goes. So if I go too fast, just pause me so I can slow down. You can slow me down. And you can rethink through what you need to. Okay. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I think I'll put one now over here a little bit. Play off that through. Maybe put a little bit higher. So there's one of my verticals. So I'll play off that. My vertical corner. So I can come back down from these points here down to the right vanishing point from the top. Down to the right vanishing point there. Now we'll go from the corner here back to the left vanishing point since we're working on the left side. Overdraw here a little bit. Overdraw there a little bit as well. Now where do I want to cut this off? So I'll kind of guesstimate these lengths, but in more skewed, distorted, differential perspective there. So it's going to be tough. So probably maybe about where my eye level line is. It looks pretty good. Let's see. So I'll line that up, maybe a little bit longer actually. So go back to the vertical vanishing point. It just becomes a design problem. How long do you want it? You want to make it look like the others, relatively speaking. Okay, then I'll just trace over here and trace over here. There we go. And so now I've got the left side in. Let's go back. Here's already our right side. I'll find these points here and here to help you out. And we'll see that through. And we can think through already to help with our length. And maybe we will see it through here. But we really wouldn't see anything through here. But if we wanted to draw see-through, maybe it would end right in through there. What we really need is from this point back to where? Back to the right vanishing point. Right in through there. So we'll draw through. We'll overdraw a little bit. And then we're going to stop it right there. That's all we would see. Right in through here. Okay. So now maybe I might build one up over here, but I want to keep this kind of S-curve moving through a little bit. So I'll put another form in through here. Now, do I want to overlap it or not? That might look kind of cool, but I think I'll keep it a little bit more separate, a little higher up. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this. See how I can sketch this out really quickly? I'm thinking it's going to be something maybe like that, and then out towards the right vanishing point, maybe a little bit higher actually. So you can get a kind of a feel for it. Just keep your sketch light. And I'm going to stop and I'm going to sharpen my pencil here. Keep that nice and tight. So you just get the procedure down. The hardest part is probably you know, getting it set up. That's what you want. And you get better at, okay, how do we set up my perspective to get the scene that I want? You know, you can sketch these out freehand to get a rough idea and then tighten up your perspective to the drawing that you make. And that's even, I think, a better way. And then the more you know about these setups for 3-point, the more you can start sketching how you want. And there are about 4 or 5 different, really 4 different ways of setting up a 3-point. If you have 3 of the points, you can find the other one that you need. You might have the left vanishing point, the center vision, and the vertical vanishing point, and you'd need the right vanishing point. And I'll show you that during formal perspective, but you're going to have to wait until I get there for that. Or you can find it on your own, probably somewhere out there. All right, so from here I'll go back to the vanishing point. I'll end my depth here, back to the left. I'll overdraw a little bit. These would come through here and stop to there and stop where it meets, where it gets overlapped from the other form. And then we go back to the right vanishing point from our ends here. I'll overdraw a little bit, overdraw through this line a little bit here, and I think that's all we'd see. Now we're going to cut off the top, or the right side about right through here, I like. And then back to the vertical vanishing point. We'll line that up, and there it would be right there. Stop where it meets that line. Then I'll trace over this so you can see it here and back over here. And then, of course, from this point, where do we go? We go back to the left vanishing point, and just that little sliver that we're going to see right in through there. And then we have that. Okay? All right, so I think I want to kind of separate one even further. So we have count, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe I want to put a smaller one. Maybe it's really high. Maybe put 2 more that are even further away. And I'll put it a little bit outside of the right vanishing point line in through here and show you what happens. Maybe out here a little bit further. So I'm going to pull up a long length, but I'm going to make it a lot shorter. Just so I'll overdraw just for effect. So I'll put a point here. That's where I'm going to start from, right there. Then I'll go back to the left vanishing point here, right there. Here we go. And I'll just draw through that a little bit. Okay. And let's see. Maybe we'll cut off that about right. Maybe even smaller. I'll put a dot. That's what I'm looking for there. Okay. Right in through there. Back to the left vanishing point. So there's my side. Now for the right side, let me tighten up this actually first. Here to there, I think I want the length to be, whoops, maybe about right there. Coming back up, and we'll shoot back up to the vertical vanishing point, like so, and I'll trace back over that so you see it. Okay, now we can talk. So this is going to give us an even more dynamic, skewed in perspective. It's going to look something like this. Okay, watch this. So from this corner, we'll go back a little to the right vanishing point for a longer length. Same thing here. It starts to look even more, a little bit more distorted because we're getting further outside of our cone of vision, right in through there. Okay, and we wouldn't see inside there because we'd have to come back inside for the right side. So we're just seeing the bottom and this the back side of our box. So now it's a design problem. I think I'll cut it off about right in through here. I'll put a dot where I'll show you. And so end it there, okay? From this point, we need to go back to the left vanishing point. Come all the way through. I'll overdraw a little bit so you see it. And then I'll just tighten this up with the right line so you see it there. And of course, we can see it here. And then we've got another one in through there. Now I'm going to put some boxes and we're going to come out that way and end our composition. And of course, I'm going to take this drawing and go put it into the Cintiq. I'm sharpening my pencil to get it nice, keep them nice and tight. So I go through a lot of these. I probably sharpen after every couple of boxes or whenever you need to, but keep it crisper. The crisper, the better. And these are a little tougher to keep sharp because they're softer. So I would buy, if you really want to, use these, I'd buy a whole pack of the red-blue connection together, like 10 or 12 of them. You'd be really good to go. So let's put another one as we come through and up. Let's put 2 more and then we'll get out. That'll give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. So let's put another one here. Way up high and really small maybe. about right here. So I'll overdraw a little bit for my vertical coming up. And let's diminish down to the left here. And I'll draw some link lines through here and through here coming over. Okay. Let me tighten that back up. That got a little woppy jawed. I don't like that. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now the length, I'll try to figure that out. Maybe about right here. So look how long that's going to push us because of the vertical here. Way over there. That's pretty nice perspective right there. That's what that does. There and there. Okay. Now we'll go back to the right vanishing point. All the way over, kind of line it up. Get it squared away. In through there. Through. And through here. Okay. And over through there. All right. And then where they overlap, that's well in there. And this one in overlaps there. So we see that. Now we have this one. You see in my drawing, it's probably going to be tough for you to approximate it exactly, but you should be able to figure the drawings out with any problems that we can all have. So how long do we want to make it? Maybe I make it that long. Okay, and maybe I come back over like so. And maybe I'm going to end it there. And where do I go to? Well, we go back to our our left vanishing point right there. And that's all we needed. We can close that off. And there we go. We have that closed off in through there. So let me put a few more out here too. We need to put one more, and maybe I'll put a few more out off the pack a little bit. They're kind of out, so I'll do more than what I said I was going to do. How about that? We'll put one out here. I need to put it tinier in through here. Now you can't come out through here, right? You've got to come in through here. No, because you're at the vertical vanishing point, so we could come out. So this is going to pull us in even more in our inside. So watch this. So we'll pull out with our vertical in through here, and I'll make my length about really tiny, my height in through there. Let's see. We just see what that would look like. So coming through all the way back to my right vanishing point here, and there, I'll line it up. And then we come back from this point, we'd come back in, and we would undercut through here, and this is the ending point. We would come back in over and through here, so we see that. Okay, back to the left finishing point. Now we need to take and figure out our length here. So from about right through there, maybe even less so, maybe about right through there. So let me draw over that right there. Connect that up there. Now I'm going to see a little bit over here, which is going to be cool. So I can come back longer. Now I can figure out my length from that. So I'll line up my ruler to my right vanishing point about right there. Connect up here. And then right over here, how long do you want to make it? It's a cool design problem. And maybe I'll make it about right there. And that just goes back to the left vanishing point right in through there. So they get even steeper and taller all the way through. Okay, so let's put one. I'm going to put one out here. Here's my vertical, believe it or not, way on out through here. So I'll put that here in small, like so. Then we go back to, believe it or not, the left vanishing point. Look how distorted that can look. Through there, I'll line that up here with my length in here, okay? Then I'll go back to the vertical vanishing point about right there. There we go. So it looks like it's turning, even though it's going, we'll have them all going in the same direction. All right, so let's go back to our right vanishing point here, right vanishing point here, right vanishing point here, like so, okay? And then we'll figure out how long we want to make it, about right there to there, okay? And I'll just come down with a little bit of red. Then this needs to go back to the left finishing point and line that up. Right, overdraw a little bit. That ends right there to right here, okay? Then from this point, we've got to go back up to our vertical, our VVP That's a raised height that goes back into the vertical vanishing point, stop where it meets the convergence line, and then we'll draw over that. And we have that as well. So you get some really nice undercut kind of forms in through here. So I think I'll make some more. Keep on going. Maybe we'll put one out here and see what that looks like. It's going to be challenging to get keep my head out of the way. Okay, here's our vertical. This is not our left side. This is our vertical, believe it or not, coming up. So I'll put it out here. I'll make it about that long. Okay, so I'm going to thrust lines from the left, vanishing point through here, okay, like so. And then we're going to come over to the right, going to project all the way over to the right, draw through, project again, over to the right, draw through all the way. It starts to meet up here. It gets kind of crazy, doesn't it? All right, so then I'll come back and say, okay, how long do we want to make this? So it's a more shorter end like these, and so maybe to there, like so, coming through. Okay, and I'll end it there, and then I'll tighten up where we have here and here, where it overlaps. I'll start from there. Then we're going to come back to the right vanishing point. Again, with our ruler, I'll line it up and align it through there and over. Okay, or overdraw a little bit. And where do we want our length? Okay, about this long. And so I'll go back and see it in red, right in through there. Okay. Now I'm going to go from the left vanishing point up through here so I can see that, but we're already overlapped. So the only thing I need now is just this angle back to the left vanishing point, and there we are for effect right there. Okay, so we've got quite a bit. So you get a lot of complexity in here. Now these are so big, there's still enough room for them to fly through. These things are actually kind of about a mile long. So the distance between them still be tight, but they're accurate, pilots. So we've got these flying boxes, okay, and we're going to turn them into Star Destroyers in Star Wars. So I think for effect, I might put one more really, really tiny one far away, way out here, and I'll be done with it, I promise. Let me sharpen one more time. Keep that pencil really sharp for everybody. It's really great craftsmanship will carry you very, very far. Okay, so from the vertical vanishing point, I'll draw my little vertical here. That's where I want my ship to be. The vertical edge of it will go back to then the left vanishing point here. Okay, all the way through. Left vanishing point. Tiny, tiny. Let me line up my ruler all the way through there. Okay, there's the end of my edge. Right there, I'll call it. So I'll overlap this in red so you can see it here and here. There we go. Now, we'll go back to the right vanishing point from this point here. Get some overlap there and back to the right vanishing point. I'll overdraw. Then I'll tighten this up. See how this looks like a straight line? And it really kind of is, although that's a height line and then part of the left side going to the right, actually the right, so it's the bottom going to the right. Then I'll figure out how long I want to make this to make the proportions close. So maybe about right here. I'll put a dot where I'm looking for, and then I'll just draw back to the left vanishing point, and we're home free. I'll outline it in red, and there we go. All right, so there we have all of our boxes in. So I think what I'll do is I'll take a moment and I'll just shade just the right plane so you can kind of clear this up, and we're going to clear this up even further when we start to draw our box form. So we're looking below up to our figures. We established our horizon line low here, right? And then we figured out our center of vision and our eye level, which is higher. So we're looking up at about 30 degrees or so from the horizon line, okay? Our position. So the horizon line and eye level are not matched up. And that's what three-point perspective gives us when we move our vision up or down. And then, of course, we can move this all the way to 90 degrees up, where we're looking straight up over our head, and that would get us back to 1 and 2 point. Or we could look straight down and that would get us back to 1 and 2 point. So anything from off of 0 to 90, or let's say 1 degrees to 89 degrees, that's going to be 3 point perspective when we move. Now, we could be at 0 and 90 in our object moves, and that's called auxiliary. And that's something that we'll study very soon in simple form too as well. So you're learning how to see in simple form and how to record that as you draw. And so I think I'll do these side planes too, so you can see them as well. A little bit, maybe just a touch lighter. They'll be perceptually probably even lighter on camera, but that way that you get the separation a little bit better. And then I'm going to take this into the Wacom, the Cintiq, and we're going to make these into starships. Now we have the composition and the structure of them, and we're ready to put them into a more complex format, and we can work with our 3 point perspective and make these more complex objects that they want to be. Okay? All right, so there you go. Okay, so I hope you got something out of it. I hope you are understanding the structure. The simple idea is that we have 3 points. We have a left conversion and a right diminishment, and we have a vertical conversion or a vertical diminishment going up and away from us and converting up into the sky. And then, of course, we moved our eye level from the horizon line up through our center of vision now, which is 90 degrees from the right vanishing point to the left vanishing point that we set up randomly through the vertical vanishing point. This came out at a 90-degree angle, and where it struck the center of vision point or line, that's our center of vision point where our eye level is. Okay, that's not as important as just getting the procedure down. And look at the view that we came up with. Very different than 1 and 2 point. Okay, I'll see you soon. We'll go to the next video and we'll start to make these into Star Destroyers flying off into some kind of formation or battle or whatever it is that you want to make. Okay, see ya. Bye-bye.